Louisiana versus all y'all. Jarrett Roser here with rising senior wide receiver Andrew Fields of the Dutchtown Griffins and a recent Northwestern State commitment for this 2025 class. We're going to talk a little bit about how that offer fell into place and sort of the relationship with the Demons coaches and kind of an interesting story behind the scenes on how some of that all played out, as well as what Andrew and the Griffins are looking forward to this fall, building off of a historic run to the semifinals last year. And I know, they're looking for more this fall with that, 25 class of seniors. Andrew, what's going on, man? How's everything been going? Appreciate, you taking the time to chat a little bit.
Been going good, just focus on getting back, ready to play for my team.
No doubt. And let's start, I guess, with some of the college stuff and then, go from there, all of the developments this summer, and then go from there into what we're looking forward to this fall. And you and I talked a little bit about it, sort of the way that the Northwestern State recruitment fell into place. The timing was kind of interesting because you were laid up, kind of working your way back from an injury, had a surgery a couple months ago and everything. Tell folks about that, just kind of, what you were going through and then when they offered and how cool that was to know that they still had that love for you and saw big things for your future.
So a week before, I was in contact with the Northwestern coaches, and then they gave me an indication that they was going to offer me. So we set up a call for the head coach, and it was scheduled for that Monday. But that Saturday, I got hurt at camp, lower leg injury, and then as I was getting surgery, they called me and they sent the offer, and it meant a lot to me, just knowing the injury I had and still continuing to offer me. It meant a lot.
We talked about previously, going back to even my injury and how different that is as a non-athlete, a guy that was in my 30s, to be sidelined and have to go through the mental side of that. For you, a guy that was getting ready for senior year, to be sidelined and at that point not have an offer yet. What were kind of your emotions and mindset, and how tough was that kind of initial reaction to, oh shoot, now I'm sidelined right now? And then how sweet did that make that call from the Northwestern State coaches? How much of a relief was that?
It was a huge relief knowing that I already had a good school I could go to, so I didn't have to worry about rushing my process of getting back. I just had school to go to, so that felt nice. But like I said, being on the sideline injured is always hard. Not being able to contribute for your team.
And then you just committed this weekend. So after that, the offer came in early June. You had a good chunk of the summer, about a month and a half before you made the move and said, okay, that's home for me at the next level. How, I guess, how did that relationship continue to develop? They were already in touch even before the offer, but in terms of, what that relationship was like for you guys, and what made that feel like that was the place that when you finish up high school that you knew you wanted to be at the next level?
So ever since I had that first call, Coach Mo, he's a recruiting for our area. He been in constant contact with me, just checking up on me, seeing how I was doing. So when we had that visit, I seen the academics, what Coach McCorkle said about his approach and his experience rebuilding programs at the FCS level really stood out for me. And then I have a lot of family from and in that area, so it just felt like home. And then they have a lot of familiar faces there too, so just feel like home.
What did those guys tell you about kind of what they see for you, what they've seen from you and your film and everything so far, and then what their vision is for you as you get to them, in a year up in Natchitoches, and kind of how they see your fit at the college level in ways that they can use you in that offense?
So they see me as a really explosive receiver that could benefit the pass and a run game. So they see me just going at it at the FCS level.
And for folks that, I guess, either don't know you yet or maybe recognize the name Fields with a Dutchtown prospect, a guy that was on here a time or two a couple years back, your brother Ethan is, I think, 6'4", 330 offensive lineman over at Ole Miss, and you're a 6 foot, 175, 180, running 4.45s and stuff like that. growing up, talk me through that dynamic of you guys, two competitive, talented young student athletes, but obviously very different styles of athletes, and what some of those competitions were like as brothers.
So really, we really ain't had no competition because he was always bigger than me. So it kind of pushed me harder just so I could get up to par with him. So that helped a lot. And then we worked out the same way with speed, agility, and strength. So it benefited both of us.
How many years apart are you guys? 2 or 3?
2 years apart.
When was the first time, if you remember, you beating him in a race? Because older brother's probably going to lead the way, at least when y'all are young. But then at some point, the wide receiver is gonna start taking over some of those foot races. I think.
It
Do you
was at
remember
a
the first time? Oh,
I
go
remember
ahead.
at a workout together, and then he was lifting more than me, making me mad. So we decided to race, and I smoked him. So I think we
What
was
was
about
it?
12 years old. I was at 12 or 13, because I was still in grade school, or I was still in middle school when this happened.
What was his reaction when you started to be able to hold your own and the stuff that was more, your style of competition with stuff like that?
Well, he already expected it, but he always claims that if he lost weight or if I gained weight, it'll be different, but it wouldn't be.
And I mean, you mentioned him being the bigger guy. Do you have some of that blocking intensity and strength to your game on the outside too? Because you mentioned those Demons coaches expect you to be involved in the run game, and I don't know when you said that how much of that you mean on jet sweeps and stuff versus how much you mean getting out there and blocking on the outside for some of those backs. How much pride do you take in that part of your game as a blocker on the outside?
Well, my dad always teach me and Ethan how to block because it'll be part of both of our games. So I take a lot of pride in that. Yeah, it's trying to give it my all, any chance I have.
What's your expected timeline in terms of, and I know you got some good news recently, just seeing that progress coming back from injury. What's your timeline in terms of, are you expecting to be full go by the start of senior season? Kind of where are you at with some of that stuff?
So I expect to be ready by week 1, but like I said, I want to be ready for the whole season. So I don't want to risk anything, like me not being ready and then getting myself hurt again. So week 1 is the goal.
No doubt. What do y'all as a team? I mentioned at the beginning, y'all had that great run. The Griffins had been to multiple quarterfinals, but hadn't gotten over the hump to the semifinals until this past year. And y'all did that, and then have one of the craziest possible semifinal dynamics going on with that Zachary game getting split between 2 different days, and Zachary goes on and advances. What has y'all's offseason been like in terms of the way that y'all view last year's experience and how you look to kind of grow from that into this year, and, possibly taking that next step and maybe even, bringing home a first ever state championship?
We were just trying to pick up where we left at. We squashed the stuff that happened from Zachary. Just use it. We're using it as motivation, and we already know what it takes to be there. So we just trying to do what it takes to get over there, that hump, and then make it to the state championship.
Is that the biggest benefit that you can kind of take forward, is just, the lessons of some of those playoff games and realizing kind of the level that things get to?
Yes, sir.
I know, talking to Coach Mistretta, he said I should expect to see you guys sling it around that much more this fall too, which you're already smiling as a receiver, obviously. What are going to be some of the biggest similarities of this team to last year, and anything that carries over in terms of identity and stuff that y'all do want to have be a staple of the Dutchtown program, versus how is it going to potentially look a little bit different because it's some different guys in different places?
Well, the passing games will look a lot different. We have a QB like a Dylan Champagne slinging it across the field. And then we got good definite receivers. And then we also got LaKeydron Harvey, a running back, pretty good. He's gonna be running a lot. He's gonna be a big threat. So we got a threat passing the ball and running the ball.
Yeah, LaKeydron started to blow up a little bit this summer with his recruitment as well, huh?
Yes, sir.
What do folks need to know? I guess we'll stay on the team component. What do folks need to know about what to expect from Dutchtown football in the fall of 2024? When we actually get to that point and all you guys are out there on a Friday night, what do you hope that people are prepared for or walk away from a game seeing from y'all?
You hope to see people. You hope for people to see the legacy we're trying to set at Dutchtown, the energy we have, the contribution or the contributing of our team. Everybody putting effort in leadership. That's one big thing that's different from past years is our leadership because we don't have one or four leaders. We have about several leaders in our group. Just everybody pushing each other to be better.
And then for you individually, for fans around the state and certainly fans of Northwestern State that are getting a chance to know you a little bit more, what do you hope that they know about who Andrew Fields is as, I mean, both a young football player and as a young man, and what you bring not only to the field, but to your Dutchtown program and to the Demons program at the next level?
Well, I'm gonna bring a lot of leadership. You know, I'm kind of injured right now. I've still been a big leader and big part of the program. Just helping any ways I can, and then on the field, blocking, running, catching, just contributing any way I can on the field, and then doing what I need for my team to win.
There you go. Well, Andrew, thank you again so much for your time and kind of sharing a little bit more of your story. I'm definitely glad we had a chance to do it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Again, he's Andrew Fields, standout 2025 receiver for the Dutchtown Griffins and a new Northwestern State commit, planning to go up there for college up to Natchitoches with Coach McCorkle and company with the Demons. For Louisiana versus all y'all, Jarrett Roser.
Yes, sir. Thank you.